Welcome back, you're watching the Daily Rundown with me, Fiona Fox. Now, Sports Direct have admitted paying workers below the minimum wage. Mike Ashley has admitted that the company effectively paid less than the national living wage. The company's founder is in talks about compensating warehouse employees at the moment. Allegations into employees' treatment at the firm includes long security lines as staff are searched when leaving the warehouse and being docked 15 minutes wage for being 1 minute late. Ashley has branded these practices as unacceptable and unreasonable and has said that Sports Direct was a victim of its own success, adding, "I can do a better job for Sports Direct than Unite can," who are looking into that at the moment. Surprised? Sports Direct? Do you always see the bands going around? Another popular, I've never bought anything there. I'm not a very sporty person.
Sports Direct, right, okay.
Ooh.
So, some of these practices are just bad business practices. The charging of docking of 15 minutes pay if you're a minute late. I've worked places like that.
But is that not just a technical? Is that bad programming? Because as far as this is going back, I worked for I won't say it was a big shop, but I think that there was no choice. That was programmed. So it was like you had to run down. If it ticks over 9:01, I may as well not go down till 9:14.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And take those 15 minutes for myself.
Well, you get the increment. The worrying thing in this article, which you've detailed some worrying aspects. The worrying aspect was the payment card issue. Now, some of the employees were being paid on prepaid cards. Now, they were charged a fee to get this card. They were charged a monthly fee to run this card. They were charged a fee every time they used it, and to be told that they've done this. Now, I'm not suggesting, I have to be very careful here, I'm not suggesting that Sports Direct did this, but that suggests to me, I'm a very cynical person, the logical step for me is, what kind of people would choose to get paid onto a card that they would have to pay money for? Maybe people who don't want their earnings to go through the official channels.
Right, you may.
So, and I'm just saying that is, to me, that's the first thing that worried me, because my first thing would be why would you choose to get paid on a card that you have to pay to get and to run? Now, there is something,
like the
suggestions, why don't you have a ban? Like, don't get me wrong, I have been slightly loose with my money, so I have a bank account that is the only bank account I can have, and that's because I'm not good with money. So a bank has gone, let me just take the responsibility away from you.
You were going to confess.
No, I'm just bad with money. I'm just bad with money. But yeah, so I'm aware of this, but it does that is worrying to me, that aspect. Now, the security lines, the minimum wage thing, my understanding is that it was because they were kept behind for security checks. Now, I've been security checked. I worked in a jeweller's. It's understandable that you get checked.
Is it understandable?
But it was every day, though. This is the thing: it was every day. Once in every day. We worked when I worked in the jewellers, we were wanded as we went out, and you would just kind of ran a wand over you, and if it buzzed green or red, you had to move to one side and you had to empty your pockets and stuff. And I'm a former altar boy. I would never do anything wrong. But getting checked every now and again, that's understandable. But this was every day.
But can I ask that question again though? Is that acceptable when you've signed a contract, you've been taken on with a certain good grace? Is it acceptable to search your employees constantly?
I don't think it's that unusual, is it? I mean, I think quite a lot of the big department stores do random checks and things like that. But the whole Sports Direct thing's been. I mean, I've been listening to Mike Ashley today. He's come out with some real pearls. I don't think I've ever heard Mike Ashley speak until today. And there was a great bit where he goes, "There's none of that sexual. What's it called? In office, someone says harassment. Harassment. That's it. It's all finished now, fellas. Not fellas, girls as well, obviously." As he looked up at the committee, just sat there stony face. But he's been great value.
Person in there quickly.
He's been great value to it. Well, he said he didn't want PR people because he couldn't be house trained. He said he wasn't Santa Claus. Yeah, there was some absolute pearlers from him. And again, it just. Sports Direct have been under investigation a couple of times from newspaper exposés and things like that. It's just a very, very strange practice. Like you said, Stephen, this whole prepaid card thing where it charges you 10 quid a month, 75p to take some money out, and then it sends you a 10p text message to tell you you've just taken money out at this cash machine.
Oh wow!
I do think that it's a little bit.
How does that even work though? Who sets that up? Who do you have that card with or anything? Am I completely naive? I've never.
I've not seen.
It is people with bad credit, because what they do is they enable you. It's run a little bit like a debit card, because the idea is that then you can't spend any more money than you actually have on it. And it's for people who have, who have maybe previously had struggles. Now, I would personally suggest that they investigate the roots of credit unions and those kinds of things, and organisations that are out there that don't look to take money. That it seems to put you more in.
Though.
Yeah. These people were paid. This is how they were paid. They were paid onto a prepaid card. So. Essentially, I'm guessing if you didn't want to pay the £10, then you would just have a card that you couldn't use that would be building up your wages on, and it just. Sports Direct are not the only ones. There are histories of big businesses taking out life insurance policies on their employees. So if you die while you're working for a company, they get the money off you. There's a quite a famous American company that do that. I wouldn't possibly name them, but yeah, Sports Direct have been there seems to be a strange beast. My partner's a Newcastle United fan, so she has her own personal views on Sports Direct. But my understanding is that Mike Ashley does seem to be I don't want to say a wide boy, but my understanding is that he said, I'm not going to appear in front of your commission until you come to me, and you go around your warehouses and you come to me and I'll come to you.
Very strange behaviour, always.
But yeah, and as he says, he's not been PR. He's certainly not been PR trained, and I guess in a way. I feel a bit bad saying this, because I would equally say I hate people who are too media polished and they're too brilliantly polished. To sort of say, and to say the company might have outgrown him. And as you say, Andrew, the reference of I'm not Father Christmas, and I'm certain that nobody needed to find that out. I don't think any of the Sports Direct employees were going, Oh, he's not. I'm not right
to double check it today. Yeah. I always had Mark Ashley down as Father Christmas. I couldn't believe it. But I think there was some really strange bit. Like you say, it's outgrown him. You do get that impression whenever I think of Sports Director. I've got friends who work in retail and management and things like that. It does just seem that it's this big unwieldy beast that he's perhaps. He doesn't know what's going on in his warehouse in Derbyshire. He admitted as much today that kind of it made for uncomfortable reading for him, reading the big Guardian expose and things like that. I think if you're the figurehead and he's so linked, you mentioned Sports Direct, you think Mark Astley, it's like linking the Lightning Seeds with Ian Brody and these bands where it's one person but it's the band name. That's what Mark Ashley is. Mark Astley, Sports Direct is Mark Ashley, and I think he's been very, very foolish to allow this beast to kind of swallow him up while he's still at the helm, while he's still the public face of Sports Direct.
Well, because it's him who's going to have to go down with it if that's what comes to it. I mean, it will be interesting to see how it plays out, but it's kind of very bizarre. And one Tory MP described all those goings on as very disturbing as well. So it's got to that point.
Well, if you're disturbing the Tories, then it is. Wow, we got to a level, haven't we? Yeah.
Let's pop over to our next. We're going into the football, guys. If you'd like with this now, footy fans travelling to Euro 2016 have been warned that stadiums, fan zones and transport hubs are all potential targets for terrorist attacks. The Foreign and Commonwealth Office urged fans to be vigilant, saying British counter-terror officers are playing a key part in foiling attacks. This warning comes a day after Ukrainian security services said a French national had been arrested on suspicion of plotting mass attacks at the tournament, which starts on Friday. Why are they targeting football matches? I guess that's self-explanatory. There's lots of people there. It's going to cause a big...
I mean, it's a group of... They're a group of people. They don't need...
Would this put you... Sorry, would this put... I know you're football fans, you're both football fans. Would this put you off going? Because it hasn't affected anything so far, sure, hasn't it?
No. I think the ticket price puts me off going.
More than anything.
It's like 200 odd quid for a ticket.
Yeah, I think they're not shown as... I mean, the the people who want to attack us or
do you mean
want
us
to
as in
just us three?
Just us three. Yeah.
That's all he's saying.
To be honest with you, I always think that in every worrying aspect, there's always a little bit of whimsy, and I think that the whimsy with this gentleman, this I was going to call him a gentleman. He's far from a gentleman. The guy who got arrested, this French national.
Yeah.
Now, there was a picture of him. And they described him as a far-right French nationalist. Yeah. He was arrested in Ukraine and he was wearing a Juventus shirt. Now, if you are that much of a French nationalist, maybe you would choose a French football team to support, not an Italian one.
Yeah.
So, you know, these people he's a great French nationalist, apart from when it comes to football, when he's all for the old lady, yeah. It's not news that where groups of people congregate is going to be a target for attacks. We do need to be vigilant. Unfortunately, we live in a world where we need to be
when
vigilant.
People say that,
times.
how do you feel if you went to Euros now? How would you be vigilant? You know, I always wonder what they even mean like this when they say this to a layperson. How would you be vigilant, Andrew?
Yeah, it's strange. I mean, I had a bit of a wobble recently. We're looking at kind of honeymoons next year, and I was like, Thailand, I want to go. And then I'm kind of thinking to myself, I don't want to be in the air that long. You know what I mean? You have a real wobble, and then. You know, my missus basically said, "You're being stupid," and reminded me that I had actually been to Munich, where there was a scare at New Year, and Dusseldorf,
2-hour flight or something,
where there was also a scare this year already. So I kind of had this really kind of weird wobble, and all my mates told me I was being stupid, but. You know, they said to us, wherever you go, you know, we went to Munich, be vigilant. I can't remember being vigilant. You know, I stayed in the bar slightly longer and. You know, thinking they're not going to attack this boy if I stay in it.
Were you there while something had happened? Are you saying?
No, there was some arrests. There was some arrests actually in Dusseldorf when we were in Munich. We were sat there eating breakfast. It was like terror arrests, and my German's only very, very limited. But I could read on the TV screen. You know, kind of just going like that to my missus' eyes, just kind of like, there's nothing. She knows my stag do's booked to Dusseldorf, and it was like. And of course, we were very vigilant when we went to my stag do.
And again, though, what do you mean by vigilant? You didn't go to like touristy places, or you
the thing is, you just get so drunk that actually then your movement, if you're swaying, they can't hit you, you're a moving target. So that's how I'm vigilant. When I go abroad now, I just get so drunk. Sing Burnley songs to the nth degree, just hoping that it'll freak them out so much that it's going to be like, that is too much hard work. That party of drunken fools from Burnley is too much like hard work.
We'll leave them to it.
Moving on. Yeah.
Well, with those, hopefully, obviously, it all goes off without any trouble. They seem to, I think they have an eye on it. You're not going either of you, are you?
No.
But what's your kind of plan for Euros then? Is it all kind of blocked off those 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever?
As much as possible.
Yeah, I will be attending work like a diligent office worker and watching football only when required.
We're going to cover that as well. Thanks very much for that, guys. We're going to go for another break. Lots more news and music coming up after that. See you in 3.